By this time tomorrow, 12 people in America who are alive right now will be dead. Not because they were in a car wreck, not because they were gunned down, not because their time had come, not even because they weren't in the hospital, but simply because they couldn't be given a life-saving transplant in time. 12 people will die because the organ transplant they need will not be possible. Money is not the issue here. It's the lack of organ donors. Hi, my name is Alexis, and I will tell you of the extreme importance of becoming an organ donor. I will tell you why organ donors are lifesavers, how you can become one, the common myths, and why this topic is very important to me. To start off, here are 3 reasons why organ donors are important. It is free to become a donor. It improves others' quality of life and makes a difference, worthwhile impact on the world while you are gone. So first, being an organ donor is free. Registering to become an organ donor is free. Organ donation is free, meaning your family will not be charged. Donation costs are the responsibility of the recipient. Organ donors are always in short supply. There are far more people in need of a transplant than there are people willing to donate an organ. Most of the organs that are available come from deceased donors. When you fill out an organ donor card with your driver's license, you are agreeing to donate all or some of your organs if you die. Organ donation improves others' quality of life. I have a story that I'd like to share with you about a man named Steve. The story is called 94 Floors and One Amazing Story. Steve is from Illinois. Every year, Steve does something few people would even consider. He climbs 94 floors of stairs up to the top of the Hancock Building in Chicago, all in the name of charity. It's called the Hustle Up the Hancock, he says, and I do it in honor of my donor. Steve's feat is even more impressive, considering that for many years he struggled simply to breathe. I was born with cystic fibrosis, he says, and in the months before my transplant, I was on oxygen and in a wheelchair. The therapy just to keep me alive was excruciating. My therapist had to physically pound on my chest for 4 hours, twice a day, to clear my lungs. I had ribs broken to keep me alive. With perhaps only a few weeks to live, Steve received the gift of a double lung transplant. He also learned that his donor was a young woman who was a college athlete. Overcome with gratitude for the gift he was given, he has worked to stay in touch with her teammates to help keep her memory alive. Those efforts resulted in a second gift. When Steve learned that his kidneys were failing, one of his donor's teammates chose to become a live kidney donor. With 3 organs, Steve now jokes that he's 1/6 a member of the college team. When asked about how it feels to be able to breathe again, Steve says that it's impossible to answer because he had never been healthy in the first place. I spent years with 10% lung capacity, he says, to see on the monitors in the hospital that I was breathing room air on my own at 85% lung capacity. That's when I lost it. I've never known that breathing could be this easy or that life could be this good. Steve now works with other patients who are on the waiting list, helping them to prepare for the wait. I show them what's possible, he says. He encourages everyone to sign up as a donor, as he has. Wouldn't you like, when you left this beautiful planet, to change a few lives on your way out? He asks. It's an incredible gift, and there's no age limit on who can give and who can't. It makes a difference. According to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, as of August of 2017, 116,000 plus is the number of men, women, and children on the national transplant waiting list. Think about it. 20 people die each day waiting for a transplant, and every 10 minutes, another person is added to the waiting list. Just one donor can save up to 8 lives. Talk to your family because before anything happens, the doctors will need your family's consent. Here are a few common misconceptions that people have about donating organs. If I donate an organ, will I have health problems in the future? Not necessarily. There are some organs you can give up all or part without having long-term health issues. You can donate a whole kidney or part of the pancreas, intestine, liver, or lung. Your body will compensate for the missing organ or organ part. If it is determined that donating an organ would put your health at risk in the short term or long term, then you would not be able to donate. It does not mean that rich and famous on the U.S. waiting list for organs get preferential treatment. Researchers state that the computerized matching system does not select recipients based on fame or wealth. Organs are matched by blood and tissue typing, organ size, medical urgency, waiting time, and geographical location. Will organ donation after death mean I can't have an open casket funeral? No. The surgical incisions used for organ donation will be closed. It doesn't mean that the doctors will hack up your body and you will not look the same if you are being buried. The doctors carefully make small incisions, similar to if they were just doing a surgery on a normal person, closing it up and leaving a small scar that can be properly disguised. Will my organ donation after death incur any cost to my family? No. The cost of the tests and surgery related to the donation will be covered by the recipient. Most of the recipient's insurance, your medical care, and the funeral costs are paid for by your family. Is donating my organs against my religion? It is not against any religion. All major organized religions approve of organ and tissue donation and consider it an act of charity. Does sending a donor card have an impact on the quality of medical care I get at the hospital? No. When you are in the life-threatening situation, the medical team that is treating you is separate from the transplant team. A maximum effort to save your life will be made before an organ donation is considered. The number one priority is to save your life. According to the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, organ donation can only be considered after brain death has been declared by a physician. George Carlin once joked that he'd never become an organ donor because if it's ever got into a serious accident, the paramedic would be looking for parts instead of trying to save his life. A good routine, but also a documented urban legend. Doctors will, of course, do everything within their power to save you when you need it. But if what you need is an organ, there's only so much they can do. There's a worldwide organ shortage, and it's not unlikely that you'll need one someday. In fact, from a statistical standpoint, you're more likely to require a transplant at some point during your life than you are to become a donor. In conclusion, so you should become an organ donor because it is free and easy to register to become one. It improves others' quality of life, and you can make a difference. Say yes to becoming a donor and register today at organdonor.gov. Make your wishes known to your friends and family. Thank you.